Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm live. Give me one sec. Alright. Cool, cool. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome back. Oh, I forgot to turn on my face tracker. Give me one sec, once again. There's a lot of things I need to do. I'm also like super late because it's mostly my fault, but I also blame the weather. So I took a nap, as I usually do after work, because I'm a huge baby and need to take naps apparently. But when I went to sleep, relatively sunny outside. When I woke up, completely dark. And I might be asking, Tim, isn't that because it's like wintertime? And I'll tell you, you're absolutely correct. I still blame the weather. Curse you, slight angle of the earth causing darkness to come ever so slightly earlier in the day, thus completely tricking my body into just sleeping a bit harder. So I woke up and I was like, man, did I just accidentally sleep until the other day? Like what the heck? What is... It says it's 1900? Is it 7 a.m.? Then wait a minute, no, 1900 to 7 p.m., you idiot. Anyways, don't mind me, I am currently doing a bit of refactoring, not refactoring, a bit of setup on my side, so give me one sec. How do you spell this? Okay. But yeah, I am late though, but I don't think I'm gonna go too much later to compensate for my tardiness. Instead, we'll just kind of roll with it. Like so. So go to studio mode, check this out. Weep. Wow. Look at that. Let me just hit you with this command. There's the repo command. Oh, you know what? I should also do this. Hit him with a help. Roll. There we go. Just so you know that there's a bot. I think that does kind of mess up my kind of video title stuff. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So this is regarding one of the things that was brought up in my Discord earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Go to my Discord. Look at this. Thank goodness I have like a million screens open. Or just a million possible screens. Here's my PR. Look at this. Threw this together while I was just stuck on just a million calls. Because that's apparently what my life has turned into right now. Is even though now I work 2 programming related jobs, they all pretty much all revolve around sitting on calls all day. So and you might be asking, isn't that tough to be on like twice the amount of calls all day? And I'll tell you, it is. It is very tough to be on twice as many calls, especially when the calls overlap. Gaming services just got updated. Please no. Is that actually visible here? Can I get rid of gaming services? What is gaming services? Come back. Reveal yourself. Who is this? Oh, that's a Microsoft Store. I don't use gaming services. Thank you very much. Yeah. So just get pull. I suppose I could have done a get fetch, but why did I say get fetch? Like get fetch. Kind of like a fetch, you little bitch. A weird Valley Girl accents. Alright. Let's give this a try. I think I do have 334 on this machine. So we'll close this. We'll go into, this is export, we don't want this. Apps. This is 3.4, release candidate 1. Where's Godot 334? Godot. Drag it over here. Look at this. We're being responsible. We're updating our libraries based off of user feedback. Alright. So now I need to test. Because I did... This OBS WebSocket GD thing is one of the libraries I've actually done something. Done more than 0 in promoting it. So now I need to actually send it. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. So where am I? This is 334 stable. So open it up. Look at that. Look how stable it is. It's phenomenal. So hopefully this should work. It's a new WebSocket connection. Oh, you know what? So there's a bunch of kind of weird stuff, right? So it should not be auto connecting here. That's wrong. But it does work, I think. And doesn't it if I do this? So screen intro with tracking. Hopefully this doesn't like absolutely bug out. OBS did successfully get the connection, so hopefully it'll click. Click. Wow. That was weird. There's a few bugs. It doesn't clear itself properly like that. There's a lot of overflow as well, but that's fine. And there we go. See, there's a little message in the bottom right. You can't see it, I can see it. That says WebSocket client connected. So this does work. I'm trying to remember if this is actually the intended functionality, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that PR. Where is the PR? We're going to send it verify to work with Godot 334. And hello. Hello, N. I do like single letters. N is one of the better ones for sure. What is an M if not just two N's stuck together? Am I right? There's a lot of things it could be. You know what was missing? I was wondering why I was missing something. I don't have my stream manager open on my other laptop. What a pain. There we go. So we'll merge this. Well, no, comment, and then we'll merge it. Give it a send. Look at this. Yeah. I woke up late from my nap, so that's why we're not working on a game today. And I'm also not feeling it. For whatever reason, I like working on tools, but I like working on visual tools. Recently, it's more my speed. Part of the problem though, right, is that it's not good for my metrics to work on visual tools on stream. Unless it's just kind of something really off the wall, but that's not really what I work on, right? Good. I'm working on improving my art on a streamer's art Discord. It is very, very helpful. Nice, nice. Nice. The only thing I know about arts, well, I shouldn't say that. I know a few things about art. In terms of like arts for people who are bad at art like me, is that one, if you're, art is a lot of practice. Either you get it or you need to practice. So that's kind of where I'm at. So something that I found to actually be helpful is like take one image, like if you're not sure how to do it, one, you should try to practice the basics, right? So if you're drawing like humans, draw like the like the important bits of a human in different poses so you can get their poses down, something that looks okay. And two, you should try to practice drawing the same thing over and over again until it feels natural to draw. Because at least for me, it doesn't really feel natural to draw anything other than basic shapes. So that might be a problem. Alright, so this is where we're at, by the way. So go into this. So I've been referencing from Michelangelo. Michelangelo is one word, by the way. Isn't Michelangelo is his last name is not Angelo? Michelangelo. Yeah. Caprese Michelangelo. It's not Michelangelo. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni. Meant like the artist and sculptor? Yeah, Michelangelo. Yeah, it's one word. Anyways, that's okay. So I think it's not I understand what you're going for. He is like a pretty important dude, just like how I've found out recently that I've been pronouncing like Euler. It's actually pronounced Euler, which I remember vaguely from my school days as well. So this is not Euler, this is actually Euler, because he's Swiss. So in Swiss it's pronounced Euler, which I remember that my professor saying before. It's Euler, not Euler. Yeah. They are important people, so you should at least try to spell their names right. Let's see, OBS WebSocket. So there's a few things I can do here. OBS WebSocket. I wonder if OBS WebSocket, I can just prevent it from automatically connecting. Yeah, I guess it would have to be like, yeah, we just won't call establish connection immediately. I wonder. Oh, hello. 3D Fumo. All right, let's click it. Let's click it. Fumos. I'm learning a lot about the Toho subculture. Oh, look at that. That looks better than like the regular Fumo. Want to see something lewd? Whoop. Oh, you hate to see that. It's not modeled on the inside. This perfectly encapsulates the greed of man. Looks nice on the outside, completely hollow on the inside. Wake up, sheeple. That looks cool though. What does the topology look like? Model inspector. Give me the wireframe. Look at that. Oh, this is like an actual, this is actually sculpted. That's neat. Or is this scanned? Oh, it's a 3D scan. It's not sculpted. Okay. That explains why it's hollow on the inside. I think. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I think 3D scans are the future of a lot of 3D modeling stuff. Because this is neat. Look how cool that is. And this is just a 3D scan. Of course, that also means it's not rigged. But it's not too hard to rig something like this, as long as the topology is correct. Which I don't think it is. Because I think these parts are actually fused together, which makes it kind of hard. They're Fumos. Is it the Fumo 3D one? Is this? Yeah. Okay. There we go. It's exactly the thing I clicked on. This one. I like this one. I like this one. I like this one. This one kind of reminds me of Aqua, and then everyone else has like the same like smug eyes. I guess they all kind of have like the anime dead eyes. Kind of like a Ray from whatchamacallit? That one anime. What is it called? Evangelion. And I watched Evangelion. Just watched through it once and I was like, wow, this show kind of weird. Kind of sucks at a lot of places, but still pretty good. You can definitely tell it's an old show, but it's also kind of weird. Also kind of weird. So establish connection. Boom, boom. I think the easiest thing to do here would be to just do that. Don't do that. I think Fumos were made a decade ago. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Fumo economy. It's a mystery to me. So we do this. Wow, phenomenal. And then now we can press connect, then we actually connect. We get all the required stuff. Look at that. Wow. Disconnect. He's doing it. He's starting to fix things. Wow. How does he do it? So now, that fixes this thing. So, I wasn't expecting people to actually use the UI. I don't know. Would you want to control your OBS from the UI? So if I connect to this, I actually intended this to be like just kind of like a proof of concept, right? So this is what happens when you click on it. Wow. So you can click through both of these. And like it works, I guess. Do you think if I made like a, you could make like a Fumo of like anything, right? Oh, hello, forest duck. Run, duck, run. Life is like a box of farm animals. You never know what you're gonna get. Am I right? So here's what I'm working through. Hello, Felipe. So I'm being a good open source maintainer and then actually trying to fix some issues. Life is like a life like a fish. You're never ever gonna eat. I'm gonna eat. Ugh. Let's see. So error after connecting. I opened this, read it, and then just like completely dumped it from my mind without saying it out loud. This one. Invalid yet indexed scenes on base dictionary. Plugin shows this error in the console but does not halt. So we can do a few things. Imagine actually using this library standalone. I guess It's something that I never really thought people would do, but turns out I guess people are just crazy. So we can add a courtesy null check, of course. Courtesy null check. And you know what? Let me add a comment. Oh baby. This reminds me of doing like actual error triage at work. Alright, sorry QA tester, not enough information. Closing. But comments, bro. Let's see. What version of OBS WebSockets do you have installed? Do you have installed? Yeah. App halted the debugger. So what version do I have installed? WebSocket server settings. I actually have no idea what version I have installed. Also, I pressed something in OBS, so hopefully it didn't break. What does this do? I don't know. What version of OBS WebSocket do I have installed? Is there any way for me to figure that out? Oh no, it didn't break. Okay, we're still good. Yeah, I pressed the button, and then it, like the mouse made the windows like, oh no, we're unresponsive. It changed the unresponsive cursor, and I was like, oh no, did I break something? Not like this. So OBS WebSocket. I can probably figure out what I have installed. This I have 491 installed. Gore it. I don't know. How about instead of just... I actually don't know how to answer, how to effectively ask this question, since I have no way of knowing what version I have installed. And I'm pretty sure like this about page in OBS will not give me, yeah. It will not give me anything. I don't know, so maybe we won't ask the question. We'll just kind of send it, say goodbye, and we'll close it later. So courtesy null check, right? So we'll do if JSON response not has current scene. This was like something not intended for people to actually use. It was just like an example implementation, but people are now using it. It's, oh no. I guess I'm actually... You're not supposed to take the example literally, but now they are. So if not JSON response has current scene, then we want to do... I guess we just want to do this, right? Like we're not actually waiting for any response. We can also do... We can hit it with a print. Hit it with a print, print error. Invalid response from OBS. So let's see, I do filter out a lot of this stuff, right? So if waiting for a response. I think I do filter out the stuff, right? Yeah. So I filter out stream status, which makes sense. So in stream status, that's like the... Like OBS WebSocket actually pings everything that's connected to it with just like a... Like this is the current status, bum, 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 like once every second. Which is neat if you want to have like a health check of the WebSockets, but not helpful for my purposes. So this needs to have... So if not JSON response has scenes, I want to do... Oh, why don't I just do this in the same thing? What am I doing? Or one of these. Wow, phenomenal. There we go. There's your courtesy null check. So I call it a courtesy null check because it's something that shouldn't happen, but apparently does happen to some people. But best case scenario, like in the huge majority of cases, this shouldn't happen, but that's okay. So if JSON response does not have current scene, which we do here to grab the current scene, or JSON response does not have scenes, which we do here to populate the entire scenes value here, then we'll print an error message. We'll stop waiting for a response as well. So we do need some way to block, I guess, reading. I think waiting for a response. What actually, what does this do here? Oh yeah, it blocks us from sending another command. So it kind of guarantees yeah. I guess it kind of guarantees that we'll get like the response that we're looking for. So this is meant to be an example for you to implement yourself, but whatever. There are other commands that don't need to wait for a response, but this is the most basic one. So if you're switching a scene, for example, like you don't need to wait for a response. You can just send your request. You can just send it, as I say, and then hope for the best. And then, you know, if you want to keep trying to switch to the scene, you can just mash that button and hope it works. My favorite. If it doesn't work the first time, maybe it'll work the subsequent 10 other times. So I think that's fixed. What's the other thing I need to do? Oh, yeah, here we go. So password is mislabeled. Makes sense. Password. What's the password? Stream notifications. Oh no. I think my bot sometimes unpings itself sometimes. So I might need to turn off the entire stream notifications thing on Discord. Or maybe I should do it so it needs to wait for a period of like 12 hours, maybe, or it should wait like at least like X amount of time. I need to figure out like what's a good amount of time for it to, I guess, switch back to whatchamacallit, this part, FPBot. It needs to wait some amount of time before it goes back to, before it reports my stream as offline, right? So this bot, what it does, we're getting distracted again. So what this bot does is every 1 minute it pings the Twitch API. So this is my infinite loop here. That's the infinite loop. How nice. And so it waits 60 seconds, sends a request out to the Twitch API with this user ID. I still need to break it out so it's, I guess, more configurable from the command line, right? But we do all of this stuff, then says, oh, this channel is live at Twitch, whatever, right? And then you can see here also the role ID is also hard-coded and also has a really weird format to it, because Twitch is weird about sending messages. Right, so that gets translated to the actual role in Discord. But anyways, there's something that's failing, so I'm assuming what happens is like we're able to send the request to the endpoint. So that this is the endpoint I'm sending it to. Some Helix endpoint. And it just reports me as offline for whatever reason. So the Twitch bot flips to is live is false. And then, you know, the next minute when it sends another request, it reports me erroneously reports me as live once again. So maybe if I like, Here's what I can do. I'll do this later as well. Because we can have like a counter, so if it reports me as offline like 10 times, I guess, then it will be able to send another message as me being live again, right? Because I think Twitch's API is really unstable for whatever reason. I have no idea why. So I've been complaining, like, maintaining this like stream avatars-esque thing is tough because it's so unreliable. But yeah, here we go. So this solves. Actually, I can't reproduce this one. I can't reproduce this one. If you hit continue, it works. Script error. Invalid get index scenes on base dictionary. I guess that's okay. I fixed that by adding the null check. Initially connecting to OBS WebSocket is odd. Fix that. Fix this one as well. Password field is labeled as ports. So now I just need to fix this ticket. When you switch the scene, the sources from the old scene are not cleared out of the sources list. So this is, I know I can reproduce this one. I thought I fixed this one, but I guess not. Let's see, on source item, no, it should be on scene item toggled, right? On source item toggled. So that's like render and whatever. Button toggled with name. Buttons can press with a button group, so just match positives. So if it's a scene, I wonder if I do this, right? So we just do like we do a yield get tree idle frame like that. So what this ticket refers to, you know, when you switch the scenes, the sources from the old scene are not cleared out of the sources list, but if you click it again, it clears them. So what I'm thinking happens is that this call doesn't happen fast enough for whatever reason. So we can just wait for it to figure itself out, I guess, right? We can wait. So if I go to boom, yeah, see, that's weird. I am doing a wait here. And then if I click it again, yeah, that's weird. So not even waiting for an idle frame works. I wonder if this is being called twice. I wonder if this is being called twice. So let's add a print statement. Just call it hello, 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 connect. So getting auth response, you can see here in the outputs. So let's click on stream intro with tracking. So, oh, okay, so it is getting called twice. Interesting. Call twice, disconnect. Interesting, interesting. So it's called twice, but why is it called twice? Interesting. So it's called twice. Why is it called twice? On button toggled with name. Button toggled with name. Buttons cannot be unpressed. What is this connected to? So we button connect toggled. So create source button, sure. And then this is also a scene button. So these are all function toggled self. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. So we have the scene button.text, right? The button type.scene, and this is kind of a weird way of doing it. It's more of a declarative way, so we kind of store a reference to what will be sent over at this point in time. This actually took me a little bit to wrap my head around. But what if we do scene button.pressed as well? So scene pressed, right? And then we'll need to do the same with the lower one. So this is source button pressed, source, Buton. I didn't put too much thought into this because this is meant to just be the demo, but you know, people want to actually use the demo as their real thing. So button press. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. I already sent over the button pressed value. What am I doing? I'm trying to get too fancy with it. So I'm button pressed with scene. So just match positives. So if not button pressed, then we'll do, I guess we'll just return. Yeah. Button toggled. Yeah. I think this should fix that error, where we're kind of double pressing the button for no reason at all. I think that makes sense. So we go to stream intro. Look at that. He's done it. Now we're actually filtering out the correct stuff. He's so good. I still need to actually incorporate this, my own plugin, into my stream overlay at some point. Still need to do this, but I think that's okay. That's okay, I think. So let's do this. Git status, git commit, add all existing. Let's see. Fix null response. Check for null response from OBS request. What did we do? Change or fix label name. Fix label name in demo. What else? Or actually, is the demo incorrect, or is the add-on also incorrect? I think the add-on might also be incorrect. No, yeah, the add-on is also incorrect. So this needs to be password. Fix label name in demo / add-on, and then what else did we do? What were the issues? Stream notifications just getting pinged over and over again. No, it's not. Oh, that's the scary part of writing your own software, especially when your API endpoint is unreliable. It's very, very nerve-wracking. Oh no, did it work when it shouldn't have worked? Oh no. So this was fix make library only executes when explicitly told to execute. Fix buttons. Fix scene item populating incorrectly in demo / add-on. Look at that. So we're just gonna push this straight to master, I guess. Git push. Did that wrong. He's done it. Get pushed. So let me grab this commit. What is this what's the commit thingy? So this is 982C. We'll go into issues for fixed by I'm just gonna go through all of these. Fixed by. I should really save this. So fixed by all of this. Copy and paste it. So at least we'll be able to copy and paste it for the last thing. I won't close them immediately though. I'll wait for a confirmation and then I'll close them all. Okay, let's do an at tensorcat push to fix for the listed issues. Seems to work on my end. There we go. And then let's do this as well. So we'll go to export. Let's export something. So we'll do, I think I only provide a Windows desktop export anyways. So let's do this. Export the project. Which things do we include? Include everything? All right, send it. Let's see. Go to this part. Dev OBS WebSocket GD. Okay, so OBS WebSocket GD.zip. So that's fine. So let's export project to. Why did I export it into the main directory? I usually always make a directory for it. OBS WebSocket GD. Save that. Give it a save. Hooray for releases. So exports. Is there no pack file? What? How does that happen? What? What? Yeah, there's the pack file. What the heck? So it just didn't generate a pack file for whatever reason. That's weird. How does that happen? There's a git ignore. Let's open this with this Notepad++. Big fan, big fan. Hopefully that isn't listed here. Okay, cool. So it's automatically ignored. Glad I had the foresight to do that. Let's 7-zip it into just export zip. And I guess I can also just provide a Linux export as well. It's not too much benefit to me doing this kind of stuff, but we're doing it. So this is 1.0.1. Also, it's the Windows build. So Windows. So let's grab all of these, send it. Do I have the Linux export already just on my system? I do. All right. I don't know. I mean, let's do it, I guess. Linux. Export to here. So there's Linux. Look at that. Add to archive linux.zip. So let's see, let's call this OBS WebSocket GD Linux 1.0.1. You know what? Let's also do a Mac build. Let's get weird with it. OBS WebSocket GD. Yeah, okay. Look at that. Look at that. So this is OBS WebSocket GD Mac 1.0.1. Phenomenal. It's like I'm an actual maintainer of a thingy. So draft new release. So I'll do OBS WebSocket GD 1.0.1. We'll create a new tag, 1.0.1. Let's see. This is what we're going to call it, OBS WebSocket GD 1.0.1. How does he think of these titles, man? He's so good. So let's see. Let's see. Fixes. What did I fix? Let me bring this to my other monitor, then I can just type this out. Let's see. The library doesn't automatically connect when added to scene anymore. The, what do we call it? The establish connection function must be called explicitly. Is that what I called it? The establish connection? So we go to add-ons, OBS WebSocket. It's one of the bottom functions. Establish connection, yeah, okay. It's called explicitly. Let's see. In the add-on / demo, clicking on a scene properly clears the current sources. The old sources, I should say. The old sources. Fix the password field is now properly labeled as password. And then finally, handle invalid responses from OBS WebSocket better. There we go. So, attach binaries. So, Windows, Linux, and Mac releases are provided this time around. Hooray! So we'll go to OBS WebSocket GD. I think I did also export these for Godot 3.3.4, not 3.4. But this is probably a bit better anyways. So if you want to, I don't know, just control your OBS thing from like a different program. Demo. Yeah, it's not really a release, it's like a demo. So the proper way to use this is as a library or editor add-on. Send it. Look at that. How professional. Let's go to announcements in Discord. Look at that. That's announcements. OBS WebSocket GD 1.0.1 has been released. Phenomenal. Bum bum bum. So I'll just copy over all of this stuff. Look at that. So we can edit, and then I can actually grab this. Slap it in here. Call it a day. Wow. Cool. So let's start working. Let's continue on with working on things that aren't games. So we'll close this window. We'll go back to this other ONDED. So this is actually I should be doing this in. Let's see. There's Godot 3.4 RC1. Actually, Godot RC2 is out, isn't it? Godot. So 3.4 release candidate 2 is out. Yeah. I do want to start doing a lot of this stuff in Godot 4, but it's just, man, Having it just crash my system all the time is painful. It's a little too painful for me. So when Godot crashes, it actually also takes down all my other Godot instances, which is a little inconvenient because all the other stream tools I have running are all written in Godot. So that's not something I can really deal with. I need a bit of stability, especially when I'm doing things live, you know? Alright, I think we're good. Where's my mouse? So this is Godot 3.4 RC2. Just drag this into apps. We can go into downloads, delete this. That's my Tokyo keyboard layout. Have this all backed up so we can get rid of that. A lot of this stuff. This FL Studio, professional photo. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Don't look at that. Yeah, I don't think I need any of this. So say goodbye to downloads. Okay, so RC1, we don't need that. We can open up the latest and shiniest Godot 3.4 release candidates. So let's import a project. So that needs to be GD Lisp. So this GD Lisp should be on the latest version. Yeah. Latest version, and also, so GD Lisp. Alright, so there's a few things. Let's hit it with a git rm, or just an rm Godot. So that's a Godot 4 style file. So Godot 4. I feel like Godot 4 doesn't use .input anymore. It uses a .godot file, which is a bit more specific, which is good. Being specific when you're programming is always a good thing. Excuse me, I had to lean all the way over to my left for a little bit there. Now this is where we're at with this program. So allow access. Oh no. Invalid operands. String and int and operator ... You know what? I don't even remember where I was with this. So let's go back to check out master. Git status. I think that's okay. Some of the import options are different, but what's the diff? What the heck is this? Git restore assets, docs, project, and screens. Alright, so reload. Alright, cool. So this is the master branch. I don't remember. Oh no, invalid operands. String and int and operator bum. So test lambda redefine built in. So is this like a GD script fix that I was kind of relying on? Unexpected end of file. Huh. I wonder. So this will still possibly work, although this is a bit tough. So the input's incorrect, actually. Well, no, the input's okay because these are new line characters I think it's trying to display here. And so these should be... Are these just wrong? Like, so these all match up, right? Yeah. Send it. And this output's also incorrect. So all the... No, it's... Yeah, well, it's both these functions here, right? Or does it stop on all of them? Is it just not able to parse anymore, huh? Is my master branch of GD list broken? Please don't be. Yeah, I mean, this is working. But now my very simple test harness no longer works. So my outputs. Finished running sanity test. So the simple sanity tests work, right? So this one still works, but if we hit it with one of these, well, the table stuff also works, but if we do something like this, one of these. I don't remember what this entire thing does. Test lambda redefine built-in. What did these do? I have no memory. So yeah, it gives you back a null value, and then you can do plus 1 1 should give you 0, right? 2. Hey. What? Wait, no. Define plus to be a lambda function that takes 2 parameters, and then it gives you back 0 or 0 minus your second value, which is -1 in this case, and then we do x minus -1, which is 2. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. So we do plus 10 1. This should actually give us 11. Yeah, okay. So that still works. Does this not work anymore? Null 20. I wonder if something happened here, or if something happened with like this output is correct, right? I'm trying to think here. Something went wrong during the startup tests. So this is all completely tested. Everything works, or at least used to work, right? So this is writing a programming language inside of Godot. Hit it with a done there. So does that make sense? So we define multiplication to be a lambda function that takes 2 parameters, x and y, and then we define a return value to be 0, define our counter y, or a counter to be our second value, and then define our incrementer to be the sign of y, which is either 1 or -1. And if it's 0, then it's also -1. Because I don't think I have if else implemented. I think I only have if else implemented. Then our incrementer is equal to 0 minus our incrementer sign. Who wrote this? What the heck? Then while our counter does not equal 0, our counter is our y value. What the heck? Oh, it's the last part is no, the return value is correct, right? Because the last line in any Lisp expression is usually just returned. So it's kind of hard to do a null return in a Lisp or a void return in Lisp. There are ways to do it. I just don't really have a good way of doing it right now. because of how I've structured my program. So does this make sense? I can't tell you. Didn't this threw an error as well, didn't it? Test lambda simple. So lambda simple did not quite work either. So where is it? So slap this in here. Boom. 2. To define x to be a lambda function that takes 2 parameters, x and y, we define z to be the sum of x and y, and then we print z, return z. So did it print actually? I don't remember. It did print. No, it didn't print. x11. Yeah, no. I mean, that's there, right? That's a bit weird. What? Test while loop. Test hello world. So test lambda redefine built-in and test macro simple did not work right. But I feel like they should have. Maybe it's because... Did they get... I'm trying to think. There's a lot of ways this could have broken, right? So this lambda function seems to work. So x is just... So lambda simple. All I've done here is I've defined x as being a lambda function. So we do 2, 4, boom. Yeah. But lambda simple was one of the ones that broke as well. Or no, that's a macro simple. All right, so macro simple. This one makes more sense since macros are a little tougher. Send it. So we do infix 10 plus whatever this is. So this should give me back 133. Yeah, that's weird how that didn't parse correctly in the test. So this seems to work. I don't know what happened. Oh, so now it works. I don't know what happened. Okay. Did anything change? Git diff? Yeah? Git diff tests. I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed. Something weird is going on there, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Let's see. And I guess while I'm at it as well, I might as well do this. Let me grab my stream really quick, since this may or may not be interesting to people. Ignore me for now. Well, no, we won't do it. We'll just continue to work on this. So sanity test, something happened with the formatting, but I'm not sure what. But it did break the first time, so we'll just git commit this really quickly. So git commit some weird formatting changes. So some weird, or I guess it's like some weird import changes that occurred automatically with Godot 3.4. So we'll just push that straight to master. Good thing no one's actually using this language in production. So that's master. I think I do need to look at GD Lisp, and we'll compare this against master. So we'll compare the branches at the very least. So I know that I had to, what I was trying to do, let's close this as well. What I was trying to do in GD Lisp was refactor the entire thing to use a stack pointer instead of a whatchamacallit. I guess just instead of recursion, I was using a stack pointer instead. So that's the tough part though, is like how do you make that work? I have decided to just completely start over since I don't remember where I was. But also another like cool thing about the implementation is that it's completely contained within one single file. Completely contained within a file. Alright, so parse returns a value but it's not used, which makes sense because I actually store the value within parser results. Where is parser result, by the way? Var parser result is just a new result. Yeah, so I use like a very Rust style hierarchy, or I guess a Rust style return value system. But I'm not sure that it was worth it in the end. Now that we're actually here, I'm coming back to it. I was like, man, I should have just kept it as like a Golang style like error checking system, right? So Rust style error checking is basically null safe, whereas in a Golang style error checking system, you just check for null every single time. But I guess in Golang it's called nil, not null. But we won't sweat the small stuff, right? Let's see. So I have a tuple2, tuple3 collection wrapper. So this is done so I can, I guess, just have like a concrete type so I can wrap a reference around. So those are E and V. I think our E and V is fine. So the idea here behind trying to refactor our eval system. So we'll go git branch delete big delete eval refactor. So git checkout branch eval refactor. So this is, I think there's a lot of things that need to change. So one, we have atoms and expressions, but I feel like I could just refactor this so we only have expressions, if that makes sense. So I think this way of doing it makes it kind of tough, right? Makes it a little tough. And also atoms, this needs to be converted to none is equal to 0, and then this needs to be have nothing attached to it, right? So just so that we're consistent. So there's expression none, so if you ever have expression none, you know you messed up. And then the same with atom, you cannot have a none atom. So an atom is just one, I guess, one piece of whatever you're parsing. Let's see, does this still work or just, yeah. So we do like a, I don't know, like a plus, or we can do like a print hello world. Look at that. Print hello world down here, how nice. Let's actually open this up in another, can I duplicate this? How do I do it? Split, right. There we go. So now I can look at this twice. Twice the amount of information, pog, dude. So what needed to change here? So our tokenizer has none. What changed here? So there's also a duplicate that I implemented for expression. But I feel like it's not super necessary. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it does help. What do I even use duplicate here for here? Like I implemented the function and then proceeded to never use it. So it's not hard to do that. Yeah, I guess you might as well implement duplicate, right? So duplicate takes no parameters, returns an exp. So this returns an exp new type, and then value, right? And then I think the same should actually be done for atom, because why not? So duplicates returns an atom, return atom. So this is type value. Oh, and that's not how you return atom new. I'm referencing my old code, but like I think like the big reason why I'm not doing this from my old branch is because it's really difficult. I haven't done anything on that old branch for like the good part of a year. Just doing some really quick stuff. So now we have duplicate functions, so that doesn't really help me. Comparing masters. So we have an eval stack. So what do we want to do with an eval stack? I think the tokenizer and the parser are all fine, but for this thing, the evaluator, I guess we can have this thing. So what do I actually use the evaluation stack for, or the expression stack? That's actually a bit weird. I don't remember what this is even used for. Expression stack? Who wrote this? So that's your expression stack. I'm trying to remember how I implemented this in the first place. So like, what did I even use depth for? I think depth was used to see how far, like if we should actually return a value or not. Yeah, result set value. So if your depth ever equals 0 after going through the entire kind of expression eval loop, then we would just set your results properly. But what is your expression stack used for? Right? So the reason why I need to refactor this entire thing to use a stack pointer instead of just recursion is because I want to implement Godot. Everyone's just the much reviled Godot instruction. For good reason, of course. I think Godot doesn't really have too much, doesn't really have a place. Although I do think it's pretty funny to implement. Also, I don't think not too many programming languages actually have a Godot. Like, I think Golang has a Godot, which is interesting. And actually, like, the way I was thinking I would implement my Godot is almost the same way that Golang, the Go language, does its Godot as well. So you have a label, and then you must be able to go to a label, but you aren't able to go to, I guess, something that's further nested, right? So you cannot go to an interior label. You can only go to an exterior label that's out of scope, right? Otherwise, like, it doesn't make any sense. How would you ever go further, I guess, within different environments? So, like, whenever you, I guess, recurse once again, you actually get a different environment. Right? So we further recurse inside that environment. So you have a local environment every time you recurse. Which I think makes sense. But it also prevents you from, You can't go to something further nested inside. So every time you recurse, you cannot go to an inner recursion. It doesn't make any sense because the environments and the upper environments do not exist yet. So what would happen? You would probably just null pointer. So I'm trying to think. What would you do here? So this is your evaluator class. Well, we'll slap this at the very top, kind of like how I did it with my previous code. And all this code, by the way, is free and open source. So this is your Eval Stack, right? So what does your Eval Stack have? Let's look at a few things. So Eval Stack, let's keep this actually. Where is it? Expression stack. So let's keep a search open for this so I can just, you know, go to wherever, figure out where we are. So apparently I tried to already implement the eval stack before, but I don't think it actually worked. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds familiar to me. So instead our expression stack will not be an array, it will just be a reference. And then that reference will have, I guess just like one, it'll have a function pointer, or I guess a stack pointer. So we'll have a stack pointer variable, right? So var stack pointer. So that stack pointer is going to be some sort of integer. I would actually want it to be like an unsigned integer, but that's okay. So stack pointer. So the eval stack is also going to just be like a really big array. What's the biggest packed array that you can have, or pooled int array that you can have in Godot? Godot pool int array. Pool int array. And then we'll just allocate like the biggest possible size. Yeah, there we go. This type is limited to signed 32-bit integers, which means it can only take values in the interval 2 to the power 31 minus 1. Wrap around. In comparison, int uses signed 64-bit integers, which can hold much larger values. So I think another thing is that I'm trying to make it so like this is full compatibility with just regular base GD scripts. So it doesn't require any, you know, like GD native stuff. Like if I was just doing this in GD native, then I would just use this. I would just write something in Rust, and or like almost literally any other language, and that would be a lot easier. Maybe not Golang, but who writes languages in Golang? Am I right? Int uses signed 64-bit integers, which can hold much larger values. No. I think that's fine. We'll just kind of overflow if we need to. So a pooled array of integers. Can I have, is there a pooled array of pool arrays? I don't remember. So it would be like a really weird linked list, I guess. What's a pool byte array? An array specifically designed to hold bytes. Oh, absolutely not. Bytes are just, I don't even know what a byte is. Bits are, how many bits are in a byte? How many numbers are in a bit? This is what happens when you have someone who has very little formal training trying to write a programming language. I mean, the programming language totally works, but macros only work when they're, you know, single whatever. let me drop this in the chat really quick. There we go. So this is the working version in itch.io, working as a REPL. It's a bit tough though. It's a bit tough. So you have your stack pointer, and then you'll have a var. It's just your call stack. Or I guess it's just your regular stack. Call stack. Yeah, let's make it an array. That's fine. So, how big can this get? I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. Or we can Google it. Godot, how big can array get? So that's a pool int array. Does Godot have a maximum array size? So is this bigger or smaller than a pool int array? Just uses whatever the platform under this. So that's 4 years ago. Let's see, Godot, this is in 2018. But it's fine, right? Because we're using a stack, so it doesn't really matter. Large arrays containing pool byte arrays crash the game. Let's see. How big do they get? It doesn't say. That's okay though. That's okay. And we don't need to have a pool int array anyways, right? But maybe we do. Now I'm thinking about it. Hold on. Yeah, no, this needs to be a regular array because we're storing the expression, and then each expression, right? An expression can have a few things inside of it. So an expression, right, can either be an atom or a list. So a list can contain multiple expressions. Although this is also something I want to refactor out. So, you know, if expressions can also be atoms, then why have atoms to begin with? But that's a problem for future me whenever we decide to redesign the language. So call stack, it's gonna be an array. It's gonna be an array of expressions. And then our stack pointer just tells us where we want to go inside the call stack. And so by doing this, we can have just a really big stack. So this is a max value of probably this amount. Max value of whatever this is. Boom, boom. All right, so it has a max value of a little more than 2 billion. So if you recurse larger than that, then I guess it'll just break, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. That seems fairly reasonable to me. So whenever we call init, what we'll want to do is initialize the stack pointer to 0, and then also create a new call stack. Yeah, call stack is equal just to a new call stack, right? So rather be explicit rather than implicit in this case. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll always want to have 0 there. I mean, we can also make it type safe as well. Or I guess not type safe, null safe. That type is automatically handled by the atom or expression classes. So all we need to do is check the type of the atom or check the type of the expression. And that corresponds to their enum, of course. So what do we want to do here though? So, so if we are refactoring this, so we eval at some point, right? I think our S expression stack, we can get rid of this. This is tough, hold on. So you only want to have one expression stack. One expression stack, right? You never want to have a different stack. Yes. So this is your eval stack, right? Eval stack, which is some sort of eval stack dot new, right? And then inside of eval, we'll just refer to this global, a global in terms of the evaluation, right? And then we'll have to write this as a while loop instead of doing it as recursion instead. So right now how this actually works is that we will basically infinitely recurse inside of ourselves. So we have either an atom, in which case then we just kind of return out of this eval function. Otherwise we have a list, right? And you can see here that we are making really, really heavy use of recursion, which I'm trying not to do. Because there's an inner recursion limit that I don't get to handle. And also it prevents me from implementing or from jumping around the stack. And so because when we infinitely recurse, we're not able to, I guess, jump back whenever we want, which is probably a good thing, but I want that functionality. You know what? I'm gonna use the bathroom, so I'll be right back, and then we'll continue to think about how we want to design this in the future. Hello, I'm back. So your eval stack. I think it would be useful. I was thinking about this while I was doing my business. So we should have a way to just clear the stack. I don't know why you would ever want to do this, but it's nice to just have the ability to clear the call stack whenever you want. So call stack, clear. I don't know why, but maybe it'll be cool. So your stack pointer, you have your init, then you'll need to have a way to get the previous, or I guess move to next pointer or move to previous pointer, right? Does that make sense? This is using a lot of brain power that I don't actually have. And also I need to modify my time tracking as well. So usually I do try to track my time on these kind of projects. So GD Lisp side project, send it. My time tracking is a bit off, if you can believe that. So, what I have in my previous GitHub thing, so we have step inside S expression, right? So call stack, push back, current index. Actually, you know what? Call stack, push. Step inside current index? Does that make sense? So the way that I was doing it before, right, was I was just storing the index inside of the expression that we needed to step inside. And then I would also store the initial like input expression as well. But now I'm kind of thinking that doesn't make a lot of sense. Right, like I might as well I guess this will be like manually unrolling the call stack, if that makes sense. Right? So that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm instead of instead of keeping the expression as just one big monolithic thing, I guess the idea here is that I manually kind of unpack the expression. So the expression as a whole is just a big list that contains more expressions, and those expressions may or may not contain more expressions, right? So if we go back to this program here, right? If we hit it with like a +1, right? That's pretty easy. It's a singly nested expression. So it's a list expression that contains 3 atoms, or 3 atom expressions. So the first atom is a symbol, which refers to the plus operator. And then we have 1 and 1, which are just number atoms, right? But if we do something a bit more complicated, so we do like 1 plus minus like 10, 1, right, that'll be 10. Because we do 10 minus 1 is 9. Then we do 1 plus 9 is 10. Right? So then you have a list expression that contains 3 expressions, the plus operator, an atom, which is a number atom, so plus 1, and then it contains another list expression, which contains 3 atom expressions. So these atoms refer to a symbol, which is the minus operator, the number 10, and the number 1. Right? And so I think my previous approach to doing this, we just kept this as just like a really big expression, right? So we would have to walk the entire tree if we wanted to go back to a previous point when parsing a program. Maybe that still makes sense, right? Because you can also pass in multiple lines like this. So if I did like +1, 1, and then we can also do like define x to be the result of -1, 1. So that'll be -2, right? And then we can hit it with, a print x, right? Phenomenal. And then that actually prints out to the console. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no, that's right. 0, yeah. That's fine. Right. So how does that work in my kind of eval stack implementation here? So if we're manually unrolling the stack, I guess whenever we get to the end of the expression, we should just exit, right? Because once we leave one environment, we shouldn't be able to jump to another environment anyways. So yeah. Whenever we exit, so whenever we parse, you know, def x -1, right? This is, we place x into the global environment. And once we finish parsing this entire, you know, define x to be the product of 1 - 1, right? Then we clear our eval stack, or I guess our eval stack will clear itself, right? And then we'll start again with the next one, print x. So then we'll begin to unroll this one. So this call stack we'll use to just unroll the entire thing. Yeah. So instead of like defining a path to unroll it, we'll just actually unroll it within the call stack. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Yeah. Right? This makes more sense than this implementation here. So this implementation, as you can kind of see, I didn't leave too many comments as well, which is why I'm struggling with trying to figure out what I was doing. But it results in us having to traverse the entire expression every single time we want to jump somewhere. Whereas if we just unroll it, you know, there's only one way to unroll it. I think that makes sense. So there's not too much to do here then. Yeah, you'll just need to, you know, you can clear the call stack. You can, what else can you do to the call stack though? Hold on. So how would I put a function inside of here? So this is like traverse or explore call stack. What is it? Unroll expression. What would it be? What am I doing, right? So given an expression like define x, so let's do, hit it with a help. What are my commands? So there's a reset. Look at that, creating a new GD list environment, right? So when we hit it with a define x to be, well, 2 times 2, right? What are we technically doing when we go inside the second part, the times 2. We want to add that expression to the call stack. Or I guess when we initially add to call stack. So we have a stack. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Now that I say it out loud and I'm thinking about it. So with this very basic expression that no longer makes sense, I think my previous implementation might make more sense. Where the call stack is just, maybe we can have multiple call stacks? And so we'll create a call stack per, I guess, base level expression, right? So all of these things here. So if we do like a +1, right? And that's it. That's the entire x expression. We'll create an eval stack for that and then immediately dump it afterwards. And then we'll store the value possibly. If we're storing the value, then we'll store it to our global environment. But if not, then we just do nothing with it. But for every root level expression, we will create a new eval stack for it. Right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? The brain is thinking here. I think we can still do it with just the one eval stack, and we can just clear it after every single root expression. So we start to traverse, but I need to know when to traverse it. Or that's tough. Let's draw it out. Let's draw it out. I'm having trouble visualizing this, right? So given an expression like so we define x to be the product of 2 times 2, right? So this is our initial input. No, don't want to connect those. This is our initial input, right? So this is just our input. Hooray for drawing with my mouse. And so our initial call stack will be these values here. Our initial input are these values, right? And then when we step inside, this will be our second layer call stack. So then do I need like a different pointer as well? So we can have like the unroll stack and then the pointer as well. So I kind of just manually track my pointer stack, if that makes sense. So I'll need to keep both of them in sync. Does that make sense? That sounds really complicated. That sounds really complicated. So this is I guess the input expression, right? The input expression. And then this is our first level unroll. First level unroll. Our first level unroll. That's tough, man. That's tough. First level unroll. And then so I'll need to keep I think I'll need to keep two adjacent arrays. Does that make sense? So I'll keep a pointer to whichever thing that we are currently on inside of the current expression. So when we jump to this one, when we jump to this one, and then inside of here, then we'll also need to keep track of, I guess, where we are inside of this, and then inside of this. Does that make sense? Right? So does that mean I need to create another class to track that at that point? So I don't think this eval stack is actually enough to track this at this point. Right? So then we need something like so we have a class. I guess current eval, and then we'll have like a pointer to wherever we are inside of the current evaluation. Right, so our eval stack contains our unrolled expression. So this is a a 2-layer deep expression. So we have our base expression, which is define x to be whatever this expression is. And then inside of each expression, we need to have a different thing which keeps track of where we are inside of the current expression. Because otherwise, how do we find our way back out? How do we keep track of where we are inside of the expression? So my previous implementation went with the idea that we would just need to traverse the entire initial expression again. So we would, we would say, okay, so we enter at 0, and then we go into a nested expression at 2, right? And then inside of 2, right, so we push 0 onto the stack. That's our initial entry point. Or I guess not, yeah, that 0 is our initial entry point, so we just push into 0. We start evaluating def x, and then at 2, we say, okay, we're entering another expression, therefore we push. Now on our stack we have 0, 2, and then we start evaluating from 0 again, so 0, 1, 2, pop 2 from the stack, return this value, and then it's keep evaluating. Does that make sense? I said it out loud. I was able to connect all the dots, but I'm still like having my doubts as to whether or not that makes sense. I feel like the idea I was going with before, with having like a separate call stack and then like so we like basically like this is no longer an eval stack. This is more of like an unroll. So this is our unroll stack. So we call it like a unroll stack, right? So we start unrolling it. And then this is more of like an expression stack, right? Expression stack. So this changes pretty frequently. Typed out the unfortunate word for donkey live on stream. Apologies. Right, so instead of having just one call stack which defines, entry point 0, we don't really pay attention to our 0th index. But at 2, then we push that onto the stack, and then we, I guess, just start evaluating that inner expression. I think what we should do instead... Actually, this could get like infinitely big though, right? Right, so if you have like a really big expression, this gets really big. I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. Right, so I don't know, man. Which one is the better implementation? I've never taken any of this kind of computer science stuff. I'm just kind of winging it. Like now that I'm saying it out loud, that doesn't make any more sense, right? Because when following this kind of paradigm with an unroll stack, so we start unrolling it. So our first unroll starts with this big expression here. And then our second expression goes with this. Right, that's our unroll stack. Our expression stack would only refer to this big expression. Basically an index within this big expression. Right? And then once we step inside the smaller expression, then our expression stack here would only refer to this inner expression. So that makes sense for smaller programs. But I feel like for bigger programs that no longer makes sense. I don't know. I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom again. Hello, I totally lied. As soon as I started walking away, I was like, you know what? I no longer need to use the restroom. But now that I've like already toggled off my mic, I might as well just go like refill my drink. So I'm back. The new drink, no less. Hooray. Just drop that into my waste bin. Man, is this how Korean people drink so much? So they drink like flavored soju? This flavored soju stuff is really like, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I was drinking a lychee soju yesterday. I was like, wow. That's actually like a pretty good lychee flavor. This strawberry flavor, the strawberry. Oh no, he's wasted. But the strawberry flavor, pretty good as well. Pretty good as well. Yeah, you know what? Now that I've had more time to think about it, I think it probably makes more sense to go with the basic eval stack. So if we want to go back in the stack, we just need to traverse the entire stack again. I think that makes sense. So we'll have like a var input expression, right? So this is our base expression. And then whenever we want to go back through the entire thing, we need to traverse the entire expression again. So if you're trying to use a lot of go-tos in your program, it's not going to work out very well, unfortunately. But I think that's okay. I think that's okay. And then we can have a few more structs inside of eval stack that kind of define our label points. So that's somewhat defined within the I guess the language here. So you have a label. So this is label all your nested S expressions, or just, I guess, maybe it's not even label your nested S expression. It's just basically just like signifies to the eval stack that it should make a note of this specific point in time, right? Does that make sense? Like if I was ever going back to school, it would either be for like statistics or computer science. Cause like this almost makes sense to me, but it like also simultaneously feels very, very wrong. So this is, we'll have this be like your call stack, right? So this is your basic array of just things. So this is an array of integers. Should actually probably be a pool bytes array, but we'll just use a basic array for now. So int. It's not going to give me any type hints, so that's very cool. Very cool. So this is an int. We'll add a note as well. And this is where having a type would work. Actually, do pool bytes arrays, are you able to clear a pool bytes array? No, you would need to resize it, I guess. right? Resize. Oh, and also you're not able to, I guess just pop the value from the back of it. Yeah, so it just truncates the array to the new size, which you probably don't want to do. Yeah, okay, so that's our call stack, and so this is a list of indices. List of indices indicating how we traversed the input expression, I guess, or how we stepped inside the input expression. Right, so going back to this example, our input expression is define x to be the product of 2 and 2, right? So as a normal human being who has passed the 3rd grade, you know that the product of 2 and 2 is 4. And then if we're defining x to be the product of that, then we define x to be 4, right? So that's how you would unroll it as like a normal human being. But unrolling this as a computer, you need to explain to the computer what we're doing. And so I'm explaining this for my own benefit so I don't get confused. You might say that we're rubber ducking the procedure. Okay. So given this, our call stack refers to entry point 0. Actually, I don't think we even need an entry point 0. We can just assume that we start at 0. So if our call stack is 0, or if the size of our call stack is 0, then we just start evaluating our input expression. So we start at, or I guess then we need like an input, so we need a call stack index, right? So call stack index, which is an int. And then we have an exp index, which is also an int, right? Does that make sense? So our call stack index refers to how we traverse our input expression. So it starts out with no values, so 0, and then our expression index indicates how we're traversing our current expression, right? So we're at 0, we're actually at like nothing right now. Well, we'll call it 0 just to initialize them. Right, so call stack index is, well, call stack index is actually -1 because we haven't even stepped inside anything yet. So we're still at the base value. So what we'll need to have is, I guess like a parameter input expression, since Godot does like to complain about variable shadowing. So we'll do input expression is equal to p input expression. Wow. We're not going to duplicate it. We're just going to keep a reference to it. Even though I do have the function implemented for duplicating the expression, the exp, our call stack will be equal to a new array, which is just an array of ints. Our call stack index is equal to -1 because we haven't stepped inside anything yet. Actually, wait. Wait. That doesn't make any sense. I said it out loud and now it no longer makes sense. Call stack index is -1. Maybe we should set it to 0? Right, the call stack index refers to, well, why do we even have a call stack index if we just have this instead? No, this refers to which points in this call stack that we're at. So it should be -1. Yeah. Call stack index refers to which points in the call stack we're in. Okay, so let's add a refers to which index in the call stack we are currently at, right? And then the expression index refers to which index in the current expression we are currently at. So currently. Right, so that's a call stack index, and then our expression index will also be set to -1 just because we aren't initialized yet. Right? Yeah. That's tough though. That's tough. So our call stack index, we start here. So this is nothing, right? Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense. Send help, he's losing it. I don't know. That makes sense, right? Like, the more I say it out loud, the more I'm starting to doubt it, because it sounds less correct, but I also don't work with people who work with this kind of stuff. I mostly just work with containerization and infrastructure. I think that's okay. I'm gonna also get rid of... I'm gonna stop referencing my own code. It's starting to make me doubt myself, which is probably not a good thing. So the current expression. So we want to be able to track where inside the current expression we are, and also where inside, or I guess how we traverse the input expression to get where we currently are. Yes. And then we also will need, I guess, labels. I guess label indices, I suppose. So we'll have a different class called class label index, right? And so this will have one of our label name, which is some sort of string, and then label name. And then we'll also have our label stack index. And remember, this is like the entire reason why I'm doing this refactor, is so to implement like Godot, a Godot built-in call. And so this label name, that's self-explanatory. It's just the label name. But the label stack index will contain label name, stack position. Yeah. There we go. So this is an array, and this describes how to traverse, or I guess the position in this specific call stack, right? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So whenever we encounter a label field, we'll create a new label index. We'll take the label name and then copy over the call stack that we currently have along with the current call stack index, so that we know where to jump to, or I guess not the current call stack index. We'll copy over the we'll copy over the call stack and the expression index, which refers to which position So the stack position gives us which expression to jump into, and then the expression index gives us which part of the expression to jump into. So we need to jump twice, right? We need to jump once into the input expression, which is this is our input expression, right? This entire thing is the input expression, but then our stack position gives us, which part are the instructions on where to jump to next. So then we say we have something called like 2. So we'll jump to, this is our base expression, input expression. We jump to 3, and then we have something called, I guess expression position, right? Expression, exp position. So we have stack position 3, expression position 2, stack position 2, expression position 1. So that we'll jump to 2. This is 2, and then we jump to here 1. Yeah. So this would be 1, and that would be your go-to. A language inside Godot. Yeah. That's what I've been making. I worked on this a little while ago. I dropped it for a little bit, but you can see here that it totally works, right? So there is actually a REPL already. A REPL which refers to a read, evaluate, print loop. Pretty common with interpreted languages, but you can try it out here online. So this is the REPL, and it does, at least in the debug build, also refer to, it does run some tests as well. So we can call a reset really quick. You do need to press Control Enter in order to do stuff, because you can do multi-line expressions, right? So if I click on this, what this actually does is it copies it to my clipboard. So you can see here that I'm doing a Lisp style expression. So Lisps use, I think it's called Polish notation, or is this reverse Polish notation? It's one of them, but it's stack based. So you can see that our operator is plus, and then we're doing +1 So +1 will give us 2. Now what we're doing is we're defining x to be the result of -1, which is 0, by the way. And then we print x. So we press Control, and then we can go back to Godot, see that we did indeed print out 2 or 0. And then so I can do just x by itself. This will give me 0. Hooray, it works. Right? Something like that. So it is like a fully functioning language inside of Godot, written in pure GD script. So what I'm trying to do is implement a goTo function, which is something people have been trying to move away from, since goTo is it's a very risky thing to implement in a lot of languages. So C has goTo, assembly has goTo, but most other languages do not have goTo, right? Because goTo allows you to just jump to a specific position in your program, which is dangerous. Probably one of the most dangerous things you could possibly do, which is why I'm doing it. Because it sounds interesting. So we'll take a label name, so P label name. Then you'll have your P stack position, which is just a copy of the array. And then we'll have your exp position, which is just an integer. So you'll need to have all of these in order to construct a label index. But I think that makes sense. So we'll do label name is equal to P label name array. Stack position is equal to p stack position, nice, and then exp position is equal to p exp position. Yeah. So I do have to admit that one of the reasons why I'm making something as dumb as this is because I have a weird reputation for not being very good at programming, which is very strange in my opinion. It's one of those like downfalls of being a bit too humble about your programming ability, is that people then think like, oh, this guy must like actually be horrible at programming if they're this humble. No, like I know how much I don't know, which is a lot, but I know more than you, probably. I know more than the average bear, but I wouldn't call myself an expert, right? So that's one of the downsides. Yeah. Find a programmer who didn't go through formal schooling has written their own programming language. Very few and far between. Though it is a bit weird, right? That a lot of people... Oh no. OBS WebSocket. Oh, by the way, I'm checking my Discord right now. I did receive a few pings. I'm ready to pull it now. Look at that. There's Needle Mouse with the yeah, buddy. Let's add my favorite one. I don't know if this is like a weird thing to do, but I like that. I like the eyes. Big fan of just hitting you with the eyes. Okay, oh, I see you. I see you. Yet what? Were you saying like yeet? Huh. Hold on. This is okay. I think this is good. This is good. So you have your label name, your stack position, and your expression position. And then whenever you jump inside a new expression, you'll need to... I don't know, whenever we encounter a label, we'll need to create a new label index. And so this eval stack will also need to store a list of label indices, or maybe it won't. The dude who was helping with improving my art really makes me confident. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but if it makes you feel good about yourself, then I won't throw any shade. You know, oh yeah. Maybe it's just like personal experience, but I feel like whenever I was doing any of the creative stuff, so I was mostly like a music kind of person, so musical performance, more specifically violin performance. I was I think I was very, very rarely ever told that I did something well. Right, most of the time it's like, oh, you can do this better, you can do this better, right? Which does, at some point, start to give you an inferiority complex, but whenever you do get that dopamine hit of being told, like, oh, that was really good, so I guess that must have been really good. I'm trying to do model-like poses. I don't know, I mean, this is what I did when I was doing a lot of drawing practice, right? Where is it? Pose practice. Line of action figure drawing. Yeah, this is what I used. And so I have an okay understanding of how to draw poses, I guess. So I think that's almost more important than being able to draw well, unless you're trying to go for something that's kind of abstract looking, right? Now the drawing has some depth to it. Yeah. Oh, I think anything that looks relatively humanoid looks pretty good to me. I feel like I know what I want to draw, but my hand does not draw it correctly. So it's just something I need to drill into myself. Similar to how I guess how music works, right? Like I know what I want it to sound like, and I can try my best, but if I need to drill in the, I guess, the muscle memory on how to do it correctly. So that's kind of how drawing works. It's like I know what I want to draw, but I just don't know how to make my hand do it, which is like the same way that music works for me, right? So I play like the same song over and over again, right? And that's how practice works. You don't just play one song and be like, oh, that was amazing, I'll never play it again, right? I don't know. Maybe that doesn't apply to drawing. Why JoJo's Adventures went to me, now I don't be drawing a rip up of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z? I like the Dragon Ball Z style. I think that's pretty good. It's better than like the, what'd you call it? It's not Evangelion. It's what's it called? There's that style that was really popular in like the late 2000s. Where's it go? I'm trying to remember it. I can't remember it right now. My brain is too fried from trying to figure out how to do this correctly. So we have a label index. We want to slap this into the env labels, I think. Like I know that this part here doesn't work. I know that this part here doesn't work. And also another thing about drawing is that it takes too long. It takes too long for me to be able to do anything good, which is why I'm kind of put off by it. Whereas with music, I already have like the prior experience. So it's like I've gotten to the point where it's kind of like self-populating, self-propagating. So I know how to practice music well. So whenever I try to do music-related stuff, it comes somewhat naturally because I already know how to approach it. Whereas with drawing, it's more like, you know, you draw the circle, draw the eyes, draw the chin, or I guess no, you don't draw the eyes on the circle, right? But I mean, that's how you approach drawing, right? Is as a beginner, when you're doing drawing, you would do if you're going for realistic human proportions, you would do circle. That's not a circle. It's hard to draw with a mouse. Right, you would draw a circle, you know, draw the chin, something like that. Draw the, something like that, something like that, something like that. Hard to draw with a mouse. And then you would do like, my circles, and then you, I'm a human being. Wah. I guess the eyes might actually be a bit too high. Or the chin is a bit too long. And then you, something like that. One of those, and I was just like, yeah, I get that part, but it's like, how do I? Then you need to start erasing it, and then you actually start drawing in the real features, or if you're doing digital painting, you switch to a new layer, and then you actually start doing your real line art. I'm just like I get it, but at the same time, trying to do circle head and cylinder for the body. Yeah. Circle head, do a little bit of chin, and then for the body, you can block it out with real shapes, right? Or if you're doing like the line of action stuff, right? You have your primary line of action, and then you have which is your spine, along with your strongest facing leg, and then you have your arms. So then you do like some arm stuff, right? So you draw your elbow, I guess your shoulder blades, and then you have your hands somewhere. Then you need to draw out your hip. And so this is your hip, this is your knee, and then this is the other part. Something like that, right? And that's kind of how you learn to draw poses. Yeah, my eyes are very bad at you. You know, look at me buff and skinny. It's very JoJo for sure. Yeah, like I get the technique behind it. I just don't have the patience for it. Cause there's other things I'm better at that take less time. So this is your eval stack input expression. So whenever we start evaling, I need to change this to be a while loop. So when we eval, this is your initial expression. So boom boom, eval stack new needs to have an input expression, which means we don't put anything here yet. I just use basic shapes. Well, I mean, if you know what you're doing, right? I mean, I'm kind of describing the way you would do it if you, I guess, aren't able to see, I guess, the human shape. Right? So for people like me, I don't really know how to approach drawing. Whenever I just try to draw, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, so I need a more structured approach to it. I think the way that figuring out how to improvise well when we're talking about music also worked roughly the same way for me, where, you know, I knew a few songs, but knowing how to improvise kind of took a more methodical approach. So, you know, like, some people just know, like, oh, you know, you just go up the scale, it's easy, but like, I don't really understand how going up the scale works. That you say go up the scale, but I don't know what that means, right? But if you want a more methodical approach, you would want to do, like, figure out the scale, what is the scale, and then you will want to figure out the numbers. And so going off the numbers, you know that's, you know, going from 1 to 2, so there are 1 to 7 numbers. 1 to 7 numbers in your scale. And so just know that the numbers that sound good are 1 and 3, 1 and 5, 1 and 6. 1 and 6 is okay. 1 and 7 is pretty good. But if you're going 1, 7, you also need to go 1, 7, 8. 1, 3, 5 is a good one as well. 1, 5, 7 is also pretty good. You know, those are all like the good numbers for, you know, improvising on a scale. And so anything that's like that utilizes that, you almost never want to go 1, 4. 1, 4, pretty bad. 1, 8, that's your standard like baseline. You know, 1, 8 is like da 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 da. You know, you're going up the octave. There's a lot of things that you need to keep track of when you're improvising, but knowing how the numbers interact with each other when you're doing music is really, I don't know, it helps people like me who need more of I need a baseline to build off of, which may or may not be a good thing. I'm trying to figure out how to do this right. So for eval, we want to do a while loop. So we'll have eval stack equals a new eval stack new, it'll just be our expression. So maybe we also need to hold on to the base environment as well. So that might need to change here. So how does eval work initially? Do I just create a new eval? So we eval this when we create a new global environment. Oh, so the eval stack also needs to keep track of the inner environment as well. So the inner environment might also need to be, I guess, like an environment stack, right? So let's have this will just be called like the stack, right? This is the stack. This is our stack. So we'll have our call stack, and then we'll have our env stack, which is also an array of stacks, or no, of env. So 1-to-1 copy of the call stack with the associated env. Yeah. And then we'll also slap in the call stack and the env, right? So this is our p-env, which is some sort of env. So our call stack will be... That's tough. That's tough, because you can have a different env per stack, or per expression. So this is our env stack. I guess you could just recurse the env, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having a call stack, right? Yeah. I'll need to think more about this. Right, because then you have Eval Stack is a stack new with a v-env, and then what you'll want to do is change this entire expression from being recursion based to being, I guess, just pointer based, which is tough. Well, anyways, not feeling super up to it anyways. Brain is running on empty right now. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll be live for sure on Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, working on hopefully a game at that point, but we'll have to see. Thanks for tuning in. You can check out my Discord by joining this link here. Look at that. If you haven't followed the channel already, I work on all kinds of free and open source stuff. So you can find that there. Thank you very much for the follow, by the way, anonymous viewer. Will not mention your name because you haven't talked in chat yet. But yeah, have not broken my schedule for a pretty long time, and if I have, then I apologize. But I usually also stream on my off days as well, if I'm feeling up to it. But yeah, I will see you then. My GitHub is linked in my description down below. Everything that I'm running, more or less, is also free and open source. So Friendly Potato Stream. This is not Stream Avatars. This is my own thing. Check this out. Whee! Oh, whee! Look at that. This is also free and open source. I wrote this. Do need to push out a hotfix for the Linux build, but that will happen eventually. Anyways, goodbye.